There we go. So again, that's one way. There's been times where I was praying, and while I'm praying, a song come on. You know, I've done things like, Lord, that was that. I know y'all don't ever say this. I get in my car and say, that was stupid. I said, Lord, I done told you I weren't going to go that direction, and here I am. And I turn on the radio, and I hear something, you know, about you're not never too far gone, all this, or I'm thinking, Lord, this is an impossible situation. I don't know what in the world, this is impossible. I mean, these two people, I'm not sure if they're ever going to get back together and then get in the car, and all of a sudden something come on about it, you know. So again, I'll be singing that song. You know, if I'm counseling people sometimes, I'm counseling, I'm trying to keep on what they're saying, but at the same time, you know, I'm singing that song, or I get a verse, the Lord will give me a verse. I turn on the radio and a verse will pop up. Or even on my phone. Just like this. Bethany, when we took her to Dove's Nest, we had gone through weeks and weeks of testing and training to get her in Dove's Nest. When we get her there, and it was a holiday, they told us that they had messed up on some information. So I had to call, I'm in Charlotte. So I'm calling the doctor's office, and they said the doctor's gone. I said, I need this information. We're in Charlotte. We drove 4.5 hours to get here. And she said, well, I can give you what I can find. I said, well, how about give me what you can find? And so she went and got the stuff and brought it back. I said, no, read it to me. She read it to me. I said, that's what I want you to send me. And I gave the facts back and forth. And it was like an hour process. And I just, I mean, it was just, I couldn't fathom. It was looking like Bethany was not going to get in after I moved all her stuff in and everything. And then there was a misdiagnosis given, and there was not the proper medicine. And I said, Lord, I don't know what in the world to do. And we're sitting there, and the lady's going, no, no, no. And about that time, my phone went zzz. And so one looked at it. I said, I better look at this thing. And I caught up my text messages, and I had a clear blue sky. I had a clear blue. At the same time, I said, God, you've got to help me now, because we've done all this work, and now they're not going to take her. And I had a clear blue sky. The guy sent me a Bible verse. And the Bible verse, I can't remember the exact verse right now, but it was exactly what I needed to hear for that situation. If something like God before you can be against you, or all things are possible. God, I can't remember. Yeah. And so, oh no, it was no weapon formed against you shall prosper. It was Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And I went, whoa. And so I walked over to Linton, and I went, like that. And the lady, out of the clear blue, the lady said, you know what? I think we can work around this. And we're going to test it anyway. She got a 2 weeks grace period just to be tested. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. She had just told me no.
And you didn't?
Yeah. Look, she already told me no twice.
More than twice.
Yeah. I even tried to be my bank. Why can't I give you? You know, I got a car out there. You know, should have known. I was determined to get her in that place. And so, again, God sent me a message, right? And I've had that happen so many times. And I've had people get in the mighty army and go, you know, here I was, and I was trying to figure something out, and all of a sudden I get this mighty army, and it goes blah, blah, blah. And I go, man, thank you. I said, don't thank me. It ain't me, bro. It is not me. I'm just a Western Union guy. It is not me. And I can't tell you, in the last couple of weeks, people, you know, I hadn't even ever heard from it, except for when they first acknowledged that they got it. You know, they said, can we get on it? Yes. I said, let me know you got it. They go, oh, we got it. And I've never heard from them again in years. And somebody probably go, wow. Wow. You know, one guy told me, that I talked about climbing the mountain. I was mighty about climbing the mountain. So you get up and look down in victory. You look down. And I had one of the natural resource guys from the Department of Natural Resources that I used to work with at Fountain. He worked for the government. I sent that one. And a couple hours later, he writes me back in and sent me a message in a year, 2 years. And I get this message that says, you're not going to believe this. I went on a personal quest just to get alone with God. And I went to the mountains. And I was climbing the mountain when that text came And he said, isn't God awesome? I said, God's awesome. It's God. Amen. It's all God. Praise God. And so again, there's rhema words. Rhema words. So when you get that promise, hold on to it. And just remember this too now. Certain promises, listen carefully, certain promises of God are unconditional. Okay? Some are conditional. Unconditional means I have to do nothing. It's going to happen. Conditional means I have to do my part. And then some promises have a shelf life. What I'll say about shelf life is it won't do any good if God answers it tomorrow. It's today. And if sometimes you hold on to a promise you got 5 years ago, thinking I still got that promise, no, that had a shelf life. It did its purpose. Okay, for that purpose, for that problem, it did it. That's how you know, that's why Bethany asked that question. You know, that one promise may not cover all the way through. It's that promise for that time. And there's the rhema word to come along and help you. Is that helping anybody? Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because you got to know this stuff. If you don't, you'll get all mad and say, well, God, you didn't help me. You weren't there. Yeah, he was. But it may be conditional, unconditional, or shelf life.
But when we're asking him for something and we expect to hear immediately, and we don't, so then we just take on the attitude, well, he's not going to answer. But he does. But it's not where we wanted him to answer. So it takes, I'd say it would take me a long time, maybe down the road, and I can look back and say, oh, he did answer. That's right.
You got to look backwards. You can't judge God's faithfulness forward. You got to judge God's faithfulness in the rearview mirror.
Just like when we go to the prison, a lot of times I think in my mind, and I know what I want to talk about, and you walk through the door and you go talking to all those guys, and you have to speak to every one of them and bump fists and shake hands, and then all of a sudden one of them will come up and ask you a question, and your whole thought pattern of what you had planned to talk about goes out the window, because then God takes right over and leads you right where he wants you to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's amazing to watch God work.
I have asked God, I have prayed and asked God, and it has took like, sometimes it takes 15 years.
Oh yeah.
But when he answers, you know.
Abraham,
And
it took him
come
20
right
years.
to you. It'll come right to you.
Yep.
When that prayer is answered.
We see, everybody talks about the faith of Abraham, and God said that he staggered not in unbelief at the promises of God in Romans, but at the same time, Abraham tried through Hagar and had Ishmael, a son of the flesh. So he had the promise of God, but then he decided he was going to work out the promise of God on his own. It took God over 20 years to wind up giving him Isaac. And if he had paid attention, closer attention, he would have known not to try to have a child on his own. But he was going by looking at visual circumstance.
He
Okay?
also listened to his wife a little bit.
Well, yeah, and every time a man listens to his wife, he does a whole...
There he goes.
Now, I mean, to be honest, she encouraged him.
Yes, she did.
It was in December,
I don't know if it was in December.
and Linda, she got up, I said, Linda, our prayers have been answered. Really? I said, yes, it has. And then she realized it had been answered, and for 2 days, she was afraid it was going to be taken back. You remember?
I was at a revival in Methodist Church, and they were talking about that promise, and said, and you can tell right here that Sarah was a real good Methodist, because as soon as she heard about the promise, she goes and forms a committee.
Yeah. I had a friend one time that I had a friend one time that had a family member that was like a product. And the friend was asking me, what does he do? How do I handle this? How do I get out of this? What do I do to handle this product? And this guy had several people call him, not knowing that they were prophesying to him. And one said that the prodigal's coming home. And the guy told me, he said, well, the prodigal may come home, but the prodigal's sick. Very sick. And so he gets another phone call, and somebody says, none of the prodigal coming home, God's going to heal the prodigal. And he said, how can God heal him when it's a life or death situation? And he's so far away, how's he going to be home? And it said, not only is he going to come home, but he will never leave again. So he got three didn't know there were prophecies. He had to look back. But he heard the prodigal's coming home. The prodigal's going to be healed. Not only physically, mentally, but emotionally, relationally. And that the prodigal would never leave again. And he asked me, he said, how in the world, I mean, I'm hearing all this stuff, but how in the world, this doesn't make any sense. Well, and this sounds rough. This is going to sound bad, but you got to look in God's rearview mirror. The prodigal died.
That's the only way he could come home.
So the prodigal died. But before the prodigal died, the father had the relationship restored with the prodigal. Not only had the relationship restored with the prodigal, he had a place for all his family, like over in Oakdale or somewhere. He had a place where all his family had one spot where all his family was at. And the prodigal was laid to rest with the rest of the family. So, by looking in the rearview mirror, God kept his promise. The prodigal came home. Relationship was restored, emotionally, physically, spiritually. He even got a chance to pray through to God before all this happened. And he came home never to leave again. He would be with his family, and he was buried with his family. Now that's not a storybook ending, but all three prophecies came true. Okay? So if you're not going to tell God how to do it, just let him do it. That taught me something. That taught that guy something. It taught all those guys something. I mean, matter of fact, I was a circle of guys that were talking back and forth, a little preacher group, wow, that's wild how all that happened. But God was true to his word. And in all of our guys' eyes, none of this was going to happen. The prodigal was going to keep on running. And unless by some miracle would never come back to God. Because said he weren't coming back to God. But he died in faith and was buried in his family. So, again, God kept his promise. And God sent word and told us it was coming. Just, it didn't come the way we expected. So, again, you got to trust God because if he'd allowed that prodigal to keep on going, there's no telling what could happen to that prodigal. There's no telling. Because he was so rebellious. And the picture perfect thing was where he come back home, become a preacher, about telling everybody, like crossing the switchblade. But this was not in writing for this one. Okay, so here, you're raising your hand, Beth. You had your hand up. Now you're like you put your pencil through your head. That reminds me, I had some.
She's writing a note on her brain.
Look, I had some. This is really funny. I had some Beverly had some glue sticks that she put in her gun, and she had them set as a decorative thing by the front door. And we had some Sunday school kids come in, and the Sunday school superintendent, and I picked them up, and I said, "Y'all watch this." And I took the glue stick and then I went over here and I went, like that. And I went, whew. And all the Sunday school kids said, "Wow, how'd you do that?" And the superintendent looked at me and said, "Yeah, how'd you do that?" I looked at him and said, "Didn't you see the blood in each hand?" Okay, okay, David Copperfield, here I come. Okay,